Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and it's time for the Orns Friday Focus on Watford versus Coventry at the Vic tomorrow on Guy Fawkes Night. That's right. Remember the 5th of November, and hopefully for Watford, the 5th of November will not go up in flame because Coventry are a team who are not to be taken lightly. And Watford, who have now won three consecutive matches, come into this game at home against a Coventry side that really don't belong in the bottom six or seven in the table. Their record may say what it is, but they're not playing like their record. Coventry have won four of their last six championship matches. And what makes Coventry dangerous is the fact that they've got lots of distractions and their focus on football has been quite remarkable considering the fact that the stadium that they play in is under administration and all kinds of things have been going on now at Coventry. And yet, a team that basically doesn't have a real home at the moment is playing very good football despite that. And despite lots of injuries, they are going to be without at least four players for the foreseeable future. Two of them, strikers, Matty Godden and Martin Waghorn, will be missing for them. But that doesn't mean that Coventry should be taken lightly. And Watford, who come into this game, as I said, off the back of three consecutive victories, most recently in midweek at Cardiff, a team, by the way, that Coventry also beat at the Cardiff City Stadium earlier in the last month, are a team now that have lots of confidence. Watford, full of form, full of vigor and energy, have to start the game right tomorrow against this Coventry side. They cannot allow themselves to be lulled into the game that Coventry, who will play a 3-4-1-2 format, will be playing. They cannot afford that. I believe it's 3-4-2-1. But the bottom line is that they cannot afford to be lulled into the 3-4-2-1 format that Coventry are going to play, and don't get lulled into the game that Coventry will play. Coventry are a resilient side. Watford, though, have lots of resources to draw from despite lots of injuries of their own. Watford look to have Keenan Davis back, hopefully. If they don't get Keenan Davis back, it will be Bio getting the start again at the top for Watford, and expect the front three behind him to be pretty much unchanged, with Sema on the right-hand side, Sarr on the left, and in the number 10 role, it will be João Pedro, who had a very strong second half in this game. In fact, all the Watford players contributed really well against Cardiff on Wednesday night. And Watford will look to propel themselves here, and they'll have to start to move the ball quickly as they did against Cardiff through much of the game, and look for those goal scoring opportunities that they really did make an effort to achieve against Cardiff. And Watford now have to take full advantage of a fixture like this, but not take the opposition lightly. Watford will, I think, with the confidence that they have now, continue to build on their recent successes. I hope indeed that this defense remains as sharp as it was for the most part in the game against Cardiff. And the defense has to allow themselves the focus and the discipline from the very start of the game, not after the defense has conceded a goal to the opposition. That has to stop. Watford's defense and Watford's team defending in general has to be switched on from the very first second of this game. From the time that the first whistle goes, the Watford players have got to focus on the fundamentals of defending and then build a platform from there to trigger and platform the possession that Watford will need to get. I would like to see Watford do a lot more of what they did in some respects against both Luton and Cardiff, which was press the ball and trap Coventry and make them walk into spaces on the pitch or run into spaces on the pitch where they're not comfortable being. Take them out of their comfort zone early. I think that's a key for me for Watford. If Watford can take Coventry out of their comfort zone early in this match, disrupt their possession, disrupt their style of play, and do it judiciously, because you can't do it all the time. If Watford can stick to that, though, from time to time in a judicious manner, I think they can make Coventry's life very difficult tomorrow. And with Watford having players like an Ismail Assar, like a João Pedro, like a Ken Sema, they have all the tools where they can disrupt the rhythm of Coventry's possession. I think that Watford will have to do that and make sure that they can also establish their possession-based match, establish the way they move the ball, establish territorial control, and establish goal-scoring opportunities that can be created with the help of the midfield. They'll have Hamza Chowdhury back after the one-game ban. So I think the game here is going to be decided by the midfield. I think particularly now. I think that Chowdhury will be having to snap into the tackles as usual, but I think everybody's going to have to snap at the tackles. Of course, not to take people's ankles off, but to reinforce the notion that you're not going to be able to come into Vicarage Road anymore and start acting as if the place belongs to you. That is something that Watford had been guilty of last season and in parts of this season. But right now, Watford, I think, have the momentum to be able to take care of Coventry. And if Watford respect Coventry and play the game that Watford are best at playing, which is moving the ball quickly, fashioning opportunities, having a lot of pace, being able to get to first and second balls, I think Watford should have a fairly comfortable afternoon against the Coventry side, who can be dangerous on the road. They've already won against the likes of Cardiff and Stoke on the road. And as I say, they have beaten some teams in this season. 4 of the last 6 games they've won Coventry, and they've beaten the likes of Blackburn at home as well as Sheffield United at home. So Coventry are certainly not to be taken lightly. Watford have to overcome those early minutes where they switch off in these games for some reason. They will have to, from the very start, stamp their authority on this game. This has been the Orns Friday Focus.